Okay, here's the start of setting up. I always set up before I go to a show to make sure, especially a big show, so that you don't have to run back and forth. I put my tent up. You put the sides up on the first click. This is now all the way up to the top. You want your tents up as high as they can go so that the space that you have feels spacious. People won't come in if it looks dark. Put one side up to make sure that you know how to do it if you're working with a partner, so you don't wind up fighting about it the day of putting it up. If you only do this once a year or so, you will find that you've forgotten what you know. So do this dry. Okay, now I'm starting to try to figure out the setup. This is going to be different than last year. Picture of that is in my module on setting up for shows. My original idea was to hang the earrings on, to put them up on a table on a screen, but if I do that, that's going to close in too much. It's going to be a barrier to people coming into the tent. When you're working at a show, you want to think in and out, in and out, in and out, spacious, spacious, spacious. So you're thinking all the time about visual. The other thing that's going to be different this year is we are going to hang the lights in the rafters, so to speak. Last year we hid that behind the panels and put the lights on the panels. Didn't like the way that worked in terms of the tent. It kind of, the backs of the lights poke the tents out. Now you can see from the side here that the front panel is going to go a little beyond the tent. At night when it comes time to close it up, I'll just fold it back in, which is why I have this stabilizer bar that helps hold the rest of the panels sturdy when I'm moving a panel around. This panel here, both will also go in, and on these panels will be my earrings and my poster, which announces who I am. So that's at this point where we are. I still have some more work to do to figure out where things are going. On the back of the shutters, to make them more stable, we put strips in. These were finishing strips we had left over from a job we did someplace else. Never throw anything away. Screwed them in to the front, and then we put D-rings. These are the D-rings here. Where I'll wire it, and then this is what it will look like on the panel. It will hang up like this on the panel. I still need to figure out how to keep the cards on the shutters. As you can see, some of them have fallen off. The next to the shutter on the panel, which will be seen from people coming towards the right of my tent, will be a sign. And then when I get done, I will have the other earrings on this side with another sign. It's good to let people know who you are. I have a theme for this particular show, and it will show up on my other sign. This is a sign from last year. This was my theme, my postcards, my handouts, everything had this picture on it last year. My business cards this year. I have a different piece of jewelry out. Okay, here you see I've added my board bows chair for the guy to sit while the woman shops, since I am a woman's shop. And on this side we have the Tired Tots chair, which will be under earrings. Also for little kids, they stop because they like them. It's their size, and it makes their mom stop. The idea is to get people to stop, because you can't sell if they don't stop. So all of the things that you can do to get people to stop, you use. Here's another trick. You put your mirror in the back, and as they pass by, they see movement, which catches their eye. Also in the back here is a new display for me with chains that will move a little bit, so that will also catch people's eyes. I'm not sure this is finished. I may finish that frame somehow, but that's going to be in the back too. As you can see, at the back of the tent, I've left some space between the last panel and the back of the tent. This is for storage. You always need a spot for storage. I'll have a full cloth on the table, and that will give a space for storage too. So my panels stop here because I don't really have any more carpeted panels, and I'm not going to deal with my screen panels. But you could put another panel beside the table here, and another 3 panels along the back if you wanted to hang stuff in the back. I'm just going to have all of that open. That'll be open to the woods. I've put in a stool that'll hold an earring carousel. That's right below the dangling necklaces. There's the mirror. These will all be full. This space is filled up with a carousel. This will be what people coming toward the right of my tent see. And then this is me figuring out how many pieces I can actually get in the tent. I can get 6 pieces per panel, so I've got 5 panels up. That gives me 30 display items for the tent, and that's a pretty good amount. That fills up 2 of my bags almost exactly, so what I have in my 3rd bag will be replacement work. I don't put anything down low because as a rule people don't look down low. You want it up where they can see it. And the lights will be up here and be focused down. And I will have a rug in here when I'm finished, but I'm not going to put it on my driveway because it'll get full of leaves. But I'll show you what it looks like when we put it up for the final. And the other part of this is now you know where everything goes in the tent. And when you do your display check on your list, you'll know what's supposed to be here. This all goes in one spot, takes it down, and you put it in one spot to pack. I'm a lazy packer, so this is what I do with my hanging things. I tie them together so that I can leave them hung, and when I get to the show, all I have to do is untie them. And you know how chains are. Chains just get all tangled up. I've not found a good way to do chains other than this. This works really well for me. Just tie them up. When you get to the show, untie them. And then I put the tie down here on the corner, and that'll help hold it and give it a sturdier setting to keep the frame even. These displays are hung on Velcro hangers, so if I need to move them, all I have to do is pull it off while it's still attached to the display and move it around so that they're even, like this, because I don't always make the backs of the displays even when I put on I don't measure them, I just put on my D-rings. This is the back of those displays. D-rings are screwed in wires, and that way it doesn't really matter how heavy the jewelry is, you can still balance the display case when you hang it. When I first did these display cases, I used push pins, but as you can imagine, even though I angled them, things fell off fairly easy. Now that I'm using cup holders, they stay where they're supposed to much better. And they look nice. Oh, this one still has push pins in it. I'm glad I saw that. I need to go replace them. And when we take it down, we load it directly into the van, which is why I had all of the display pieces in the tent itself, so that I knew my big display pieces, what needed to go to the show. And because this is a different display than what I usually have, I needed to kind of figure it out as I went along. There may be a few changes yet for the hanging things for the necklaces. I already modified the frame so that it will hang more necklaces on it. But this is why you set up before show, because if you don't want to be crazy when you get there, this is it right here. Do it before, and when you get there, you'll be fine. Now you go to your show checklist and you start amassing all of the small pieces that go into putting the final pieces of the show together for setup. I have a full day to set up for this show, but if you only have an hour or two, which some shows let you have, in the morning you have to set up between 7 and 9 and then go for it. If you have to do that, then these Velcro hangers are really great. You can just leave them in place, and when you pack your screen into your van, or however you're getting it there, and put it back up again, they're ready to go. You don't have to take the time for that.